Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka Han Yolo, and this video we're breaking down the best fan theories on who the character at the end of the latest Mandalorian episode is. This covers clone troopers, Captain Rex, and the most obvious of them, which is of course Boba Fett. We're going to be going over it all and debunking some of the major theories that you may have seen in order to discuss who we think it will be before the episode airs next week. Obviously, full spoilers ahead, so if you haven't had a chance to check out the episode yet, then I highly recommend that you check out now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we're going to be covering the show every week, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Anyway, with that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the breakdown. Okay, so episode 1 follows the Mandalorian as he returns to Tatooine in order to track down more of his kind. This is so he can chart a course through the network of coverts and return Baby Yoda to the Jedi. In the episode, he comes across Cobb Vanth, who just so happens to have Boba Fett's armor, and after the two team up to take down a crate dragon, he takes it back and heads to his ship. Now throughout the episode, we probably got one of the biggest prick teasers towards Fett, and to actually see what could be him at the end was a huge moment that made me drop my jaw faster than Luke dropped his lightsaber in Empire. Is that a good joke? No, probably not. Now, the first theory we need to tackle comes from Michael DeRossa, who says, "How do we know it's Boba Fett and not just some random clown?" Might be Australian, I don't know, but I like doing that impression. Now, following this up, Alex Gawley also said, regarding the theory that the person seen at the end is actually a clown trooper, if you notice the scar on his face, if it is a clown, it would have to be Commander Wolffe, one of the 3 troopers that didn't enact Order 66. Either that or Boba got that scar in his battle with the Sarlacc, presuming there was one. You've never seen Boba Fett, mate, without his helmet off as an adult, so keep your opinion to yourself anyway. Thanks for coming in. Now, it is a pretty good theory, as we do know that all of the clones were duplicates of Jango Fett, who was used as a template to create them. Thus, this character could well be a random clone trooper or Commander Wolffe. We also know that Captain Rex was rumoured to be in the upcoming series too, so there are a lot of options. Now, whilst there was a big buzz about Rex all the way back in March when Temuera Morrison's casting was first announced, I don't think it was ever actually confirmed, and it was more speculation over who Morrison was playing rather than actual concrete proof that he was Rex or a clone trooper. Zeke the Super Freak, you know the lad, he's mates with your uncle, 45 and drinks special brew and chats up the birds on a Thursday. Anyway, he says that it could also be Rex with Ahsoka. There have been a lot of rumours that Ahsoka will be popping up in the series at some point, and we do know from Clone Wars that she and Rex were a pretty tight-knit team. Rex actually appeared in Return of the Jedi according to the canon, and he was seen as a bearded trooper who helped the rebels storm Endor. With this show being set 5 years after that film, I think he must have really had his life fall apart in order to be wandering around Tatooine looking like he's just crawled out of the Sarlacc. Hey, you having that now? As Zeke says, this would be a good way to introduce Ahsoka. However, I think the locations and teaser back in season 1 makes me think that it won't be them. I can actually see Ahsoka popping up later in the season as Mando reconnects with the Jedi, and to just have her dotted about on Tatooine. I'm not sure if it's what I want from the character. Now, as for the rest of the clones, as we learned in episode 2, their aging process was actually accelerated so that the army would be ready in time for the order that put them into production. There's no real reason to believe that this stopped, and in the film we learn that the only clone who didn't possess this accelerated aging was Boba Fett, whom Jango had requested in order to raise him as his son. Thus, I think we can pretty much rule out the clones and the troopers themselves, as most of them died out not long after the events of the prequel trilogy due to their aging process, and also because, I don't know, I don't think that George Lucas thought about it for the original movies, so had to come up with some way to explain why they weren't there. Anyway, the point is, I did go back and forth over these theories myself because it seemed like this reveal could be a bit of a misdirect, and though we instantly thought it was Fett, the show could have been tricking us. However, after watching the episode 3 times, I think the entire setup of it is pretty much to point out to us that this is indeed Fett, and the entry itself follows a lot of things that were set up in the extended universe. Now whilst this canon was wiped out when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they have kept several things in play, including Cobb Vanth, who was part of the Aftermath storyline. In the original work, Cobb pretty much went through the arc that we see in the show, and after he escaped slavery, he found the village of Freetown that had been ransacked by Red Key raiders. He wandered into the desert and crossed paths with one called Adwin Charu at a sandcrawler, which does divert slightly from what we see in the show. Now the pair found the Mandalorian battle armor on it, and Vanth and Charu had a fight for it, which led to the former being victorious. Vanth went to Freetown, killed the raiders, and became the sheriff. Later he discovered that it was Boba Fett's armor, and depending on what you read, Fett took it back. However, in the series, the Mandalorian pretty much changes the path of this, and as he takes the armor, it looks like he's going to be the one who faces down against Fett. Now the similarities do pretty much confirm that this is indeed Boba Fett, and I would absolutely love it if we got an episode next week that told his backstory in more detail. Hell, give the guy an entire episode over what happened between Return of the Jedi and this, and I'm down. Now there are also other clues that confirm this too. Clearly, Boba is looking out for Mando, and it is possible that he has been tracking him because he knows that he's a Mandalorian. This explains why he went to Fennec Shand in the first season, and can also be seen watching over him in the episode itself. Fett of course has a reason for being on Tatooine, as that's where we last saw him, and in the expanded universe, after escaping the Sarlacc, he was found by Jawas who took his armor. This sets up how Cobb got it, and as he didn't have his ship or equipment, Fett had to remain on the planet, which further hammers home that this is who he really is. Now on top of this, thematically, Boba Fett deserves redemption. He pretty much Mr. Magoo'd his way through the trilogy, and though I really like him, watching those original movies, I didn't really get the sense that he was the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, purely because he was taken out by a blind man. The sequel trilogy too did this with Captain Phasma, and for so long, Fett's reputation was carried purely by the comic books and other material that made him seem much better. Him regaining his armor is also him taking back the mantle, and I really think that it's the best way to do it. If this is Boba Fett, then his story also parallels Obi-Wan, who too hid out in the desert after the Jedi's fall from grace. There are also similarities with Mando escaping the Krayt Dragon, and how Boba escaped the Sarlacc. Now whilst this definitely could be other characters, I think everything lines up for it to be Boba Fett. This was kind of a waste of your time, this entire video, as you probably already knew that, didn't you? But you know what, I stretched it to 8 minutes and got the ad revenue, so cheers I get. What do you mean you're unsubscribing? No, but they could reveal it as someone else, and I've just seen so many theories that I thought I'd go over them so we get a pretty definitive answer on exactly what's going on. Anyway, that's pretty much debunking everything, and hopefully this video ages as well as Yoda, but if it hasn't and you're watching this after seeing episode 2, then let me know what an idiot I am. If you enjoyed the video, then please drop a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our full breakdown of episode 1, which is going to be linked at the end. Don't forget, we're also giving away 3 copies of the Marvel Phase 2 box set, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 30th of November, so make sure you get involved. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat to us on the Discord server, linked in the description, or Heavy Spoilers on Twitter. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. You've been the best. I've been Paul. I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.